Hi, I'm Ben. Thanks for watching my video. After Christmas, I get all my books from Christmas, and so I thought I'd do a book review. I read mostly sci-fi fantasy, and then I'd say that's probably 80 to 90% of what I read. And then I read every 1 in 10 books is something kind of off the shelf. Usually it's philosophy or political commentary. Sometimes it's just a fiction, but usually it's a non-fiction. I've read several biographies as well. And but all the books that I have for you today are all sci-fi or fantasy. The first book I'd review is Wizard's First Rule by Terry Goodkind. It's the first book in his series of 9 of the Sword of Truth series. I've read it a couple times, and I like the book. I think it's worth a read. I'd probably rate it 8 out of 10. And what I like about the book is that it's pretty much just a colorful fantasy adventure book with a world that has kind of sparkling moments of depth, where they have night wisps and dragons and wizards and all that good fantasy stuff. What I think set it apart from other fantasy novels that I've read is that the good and evil is based on kind of a moral superposition. It's not just about, like Lord of the Rings, about I'm a bad guy with lots of orcs and I'm going to dominate the world. So it does have a philosophical premise, and I think that gives the book kind of depth when you talk about the battle lines between why characters are good and why characters are evil. The only bad thing I think is probably when you consider the later parts of the book. As a standalone book, you could read it and put it down and it's fine. Later on, he doesn't really fulfill the moments of potential when talking about magic in his later books, and also he moves from more of a when talking about good and evil, it's more of a lecture versus action. So you get long parts of dialogue in the later books. But as a standalone book, I think it's fine. The next book I'd like to review is called Ender's Game by Orson Scott. This is an older book, and as you can see by the cover has not been updated since like the 70s when it was written. And I've only read one other book by Orson Scott Card, which was a book called Enchantment. This book by Orson Scott Card basically is a sci-fi book, and it features a child in a unique situation. And I really like the book, mostly because I think that it was pretty well plotted. The length of time that the book takes place in and the way he handles the time frame, I thought gave it kind of a damn. The next book I'd like to review is a book by Orson Scott Card. It's called Ender's Game. It was written in the 1970s, as you can tell from the book cover, and it won the Hugo Award and Nebula Award, and I think it deserved it. It's a sci-fi book which features a child in a unique position to save the Earth. I like the book. I think it's definitely probably a 9 out of 10. I would definitely recommend it to any sci-fi fan. And what I liked about the book was that the way that they treated children was that they treated them like adults. And the way that they picture children in the book, the way they present children in the book, is as smart human beings with their own ideas of, you know, what kind of goals they're accomplishing. Because I know that my childhood, it was not always clear what my own personal agenda was, and it definitely wasn't really communicated, you know, to adults, whether it was teachers or parents. And I think teachers usually understand that kids like have their own sense of what they want to accomplish, but I think parents can kind of forget that, you know, whether or not you think your child's goals are, you know, insignificant or just kind of childish, they do kind of have their own idea of what they want to accomplish. And I like that it presented the kids as kind of, you know, as more mature than I think most presentations of children are. I think that kids are a lot more mature than we give them credit for. So yeah, was there anything I disliked about the book? Not really. I can't think of anything right now. I got the second book after reading this one, and it's going to be one of my next reads, so we'll have to see how it goes.